Now to add in the detail, what you're going to do is look for little crevices and cracks and humps and bumps inside the bread and put them in. Now the colors that you're going to use to put them in is still your bread colors. Just look to see, is that little crevice or crack or hump or bump, is it lighter or is it darker? And use a darker value than the colors next to it. Then also take a look, does that little dab or dash that you're busy putting in, is it just a solid dab like that, or does it need to fade out? Or is the dab that I've just put down maybe too hard? If it is too hard, then you need to soften it up. You'll see that I actually used my finger just to dab onto the little piece of paint that I put down, and that'll soften the mark. If it fades away, I take a look, does it need to fade away to the left or to the right or up or down? There you go, you see me using my finger just to soften that mark. When you're doing these, just put in the main ones. Don't get yourself all carried away and put in every last little dab and dash. It's really not necessary. Put in the main ones. Those are the guys that you're going to see when you're sort of standing back looking at the actual piece of bread, and those are the only ones you need to put in. I promise you it'll still look 100% realistic in the end of the day. I think if I had to judge to put in all the detail in my bread, it maybe took me 10 minutes, if that long. As you see there, I'm working in the lighter area, so I can't use this dark contrast there. I'm using a darker value of the color around it. Or if it needs to go lighter, I'm using a lighter value of the color around it. Okay, so over there I'm putting in the poppy seeds. Listen to me, poppy seeds. The sesame seeds. So I'm using my darkest value there, that almost black color that I mixed. Now notice when I'm putting it in, I'm just letting the brush sort of dance across the canvas. And I'll actually often put in those little dabs and dashes like that. And then I'll come back in and I'll just smudge them away again. You see there I'm doing it. And then once I've smudged them, then I'll come back in and add more little seeds on top of it. What that does is it creates that effect of each one of those little sesame seeds is now throwing a little shadow on the bread. So by smudging it in, I'm creating the shadows, and by putting the dabs and dashes on top of it again, I'm adding the actual seeds themselves. Now again, please don't try and add each individual little seed in. What you want to do there is just create the impression of seeds. So I'm looking for groupings of seeds, and I'm adding those groupings in, just quick little dabs and dashes. As I go around there, again I'm using either less paint on the brush, or I am using a lighter version, because as he curls around, two things are going to happen. First thing is the light is coming from that side, right? So it's washing out the color of the actual seed. And yeah, in the center of the bread, that part is the highest, right? So that's is closest to the grill in the oven. So those guys are automatically going to toast more because there's more heat up there. And the guys that are going around the side, away from the actual grill itself, they're not getting as much heat, so they're not as toasted as the ones on top. Alright, so there you can also see I'm adding in a few that as that bread started to rise, some of those seeds have now fallen down, so they've either ended up in the sort of the crevice where the two triangles meet, or they've rolled down and they've got stuck in the dough on the side. And I'm popping those guys in as well.